This light is goofy in my face, making me look more light-skinned than I actually am. So, well, hello everybody, how's it going? A few things to say, as always, before I start my tutorials. I always have something to say. First things first, the last tutorial I made, 1, go watch it. 2, go listen to the song that I had at the end of that tutorial. I released it on SoundCloud and Apple Music. It'll be on Spotify soon. At the time this video is going up, it's not up there yet. Where do I look? Hold up. Where do I put my eyes when I'm looking at the webcam? I don't know. I feel like doing this, I'm like looking at your forehead. Like we're face to face. I feel like I'm looking at your forehead. I can't really tell how it looks. Fuck it, bro. I gotta get these advertisements out the way. Second off, Discord. Just go join it. That's all I got to say about that. I can't hype it up anymore. We got a bunch of wholesome people in here. We're all looking for friends. We all love each other and, you know, all that stuff. And you can be notified when I'm doing things. You can help support me as well as the people in the Discord. You can congregate, communicate with the community. And if you join the Discord, you will get notifications for when I go live on my Twitch, which you can, ooh. That was a voice crack. Oh my God. You can go to my links in the description and you will be able to find all the things that I want you to follow, all on a convenient web page. They'll also be linked in the description too. But everything that's on all my links page, my Instagram, my Twitter, you can follow me there. You can follow me there basically. That page literally has everything you should go follow, like everything. Like go to the top link in my description and just follow me on everywhere that's like on there, like on that website. Thanks. That's really it. All right, well, time to get down to business. We're doing a plug-and-b tutorial today. Last tutorial was a plug tutorial, which I just advertised. You can go on my channel and watch it if you want. But today we're doing some plug-and-b shit. And I just did a plug-and-b tutorial fairly recently, about a month ago or so, which you can also go watch. That's in the same tutorial podcast playlist, tutorial playlist. So in today's tutorial, I wanted to do a plug-and-b beat that sounded, I mean, everybody says their beats sound different, but I wanted this shit to hit. You hear it and you're like, whoa, is this even plug-and-b? How can I explain this without sounding pretentious? Fuck it, bro. This beat is great. I love this beat. I've gone into this on my other tutorials before, but a lot of plug-and-b beats, if you were to go on YouTube and look up plug or plug-and-b type beat, Xangang, mexikodro, whatever the case may be, you'll hear a lot of these beats and you might be one of the people who hears them and you're like, huh, well, golly, a lot of these beats sound the goddamn same. What's the deal with that? I'm not really one of those people, but there's a lot of people like that. And honestly, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I don't really feel like, I mean, there's truth to an extent. A lot of plug-and-b does sound somewhat similar because of the similar sound fonts of the instruments that are being used. Like, everybody uses purity. The day I make a plug or plug-and-b tutorial and I don't say the word purity in it is the day I'll start selling free beats for the rest of my life. That's when I'll start doing it, which I'm not doing. But even with the similar sound between a lot of plug-and-b instrumentals because of the similar instruments and the same VSTs being used, you still get a lot of good artists who can make really good sounding music with the subgenre. And it's just something that really can't be replicated with any other genre of hip hop. And I never thought one of my favorite musical artists for one of my favorite musical genres would be Carl fucking Weezer. But with today's tutorial in specific, hopefully this beat right here is the beat that sounds the most different from any plug-and-b beat that I've ever used for a tutorial. You hear it and it just sounds like something you haven't heard before. But that's the mindset that I went into making this beat with. So with all that being said, let's get this shit on the road. Let's get this fucking party started. I'm gonna fucking move my webcam. I'm gonna minimize OBS, and we got this chord progression here. I'm gonna start going into it. Ignore these muted notes. I don't know why they're here. I don't even need them here. But oh, I guess these things are pretty important so I can actually hear. Chord progression right here. I got a E piano out of Expand Synth EP in the electric piano section. I want to do something, like I said, a little different, even though I've used Expand in other tutorials before. I'm always using vintage EP2. I'm always starting off in Purity, at least start off in Expand, you know. I want to change it up a little bit. Here we go. Listen to this. Chord progression isn't too crazy. It's nothing too intricate. After I made the chord progression, I immediately went back into Purity after saying I was going to try and be different. But that's okay. That's okay. There's going to be some elements of familiarity here, but this beat is still going to sound different, bro. You're going to recognize the instruments, but you're going to hear the whole beat and you're going to be like, huh, that's not just plug and B. That's a bonus stage type beat. Okay. You know, all right, here we go. So the lead here, which is PW for president out of Purity, as you can see right here. Just gotta make sure I'm thorough because people be asking questions and shit. I made this lead simply to complement the chord progression, made sure it sounded good together. As you can hear, compliments, everything's in tune and all that good stuff. I'm no music theory buff, so I can't give you like terminology, but I basically make sure the shit sounds the way it's supposed to sound. After that, I got a second lead, and this is the cheap lead in Purity, as you can see right here. Yeah. Now, I might end up changing something like real quick, but we'll see. Right here, you can see this little bitty baby note that I put up here. Put it right here on top of this note to give it a certain kind of sound to it. Listen. It sounds a little bit better on other leads. Like, let me change it out real quick. Oh shit, I got delay on this bitch. Whoa, hold up. So I'm gonna keep that lead as the cheap lead, but I decided to change it to a different lead just to kind of accentuate the sound a little bit more. Thinking about getting rid of this one right here and keeping this one here. But basically, this little bitty tick of a note that I put here adds a little bit of a, you hear that? Like a little, hold up, wait, hold up. We're gonna get this shit right. Okay, no, we're not. That shit sounded like a fucking police siren, bro. Hold up. There's a little bit of a little vibrato like sound when you do that. Okay, that's basically what I'm trying to say here. And then it's gonna hear it. You hear it there too, like right. You hear it. I can't explain sounds with my words, bro. You're just gonna have to listen and then recognize it and then be like, okay, yeah, this nigga knows what he's talking about. All right, I'm gonna change it back to the cheap lead. Or actually, how does this sound with the beat? Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep the cheap lead. We're gonna keep it as a cheap lead. It sounds good. It still sounds good. I just felt like I would have been able to explain it better if it was more clear for you to hear. You can still hear it, but you know what? I don't have to explain myself to you bunch of losers. Fuck y'all. Next instrument, we got the pizzicato strings. Plug&b classic. So what I'm doing with this beat is using a lot of classic plug&b sounds while also adding my own shit in here, as you'll see as we'll continue on. Right here, I got these pizzicato strings, but you hear them by themselves. So these strings are just to kind of add a little bit more to the melody. That's really as simple as it gets. I'll let you listen to it. Like you'll hear these in a lot of plug&b. I gotta stop saying you'll hear the, I'm literally using Purity. Everybody uses Purity. Everybody is going to hear every single instrument in this VST. And I keep saying, you're gonna hear this instrument a lot. You're gonna hear this instrument every other plug&b beat. It's a pretty popular instrument. It's really late at night, which is why I record these videos when I'm half asleep, because I am goofy. I'm my goofy ah. So yeah, sounds pretty good. I like what it adds to the melody. But what we're getting to now, this is gonna be some of my favorite additions because I'm gonna start getting into the mixing. I don't normally get into my mixing onto these tutorials because y'all already remake the whole beats without my mixing presets. If I just give you the giving you my mixing presets is literally, you know, I don't remember where I heard this. I heard this from someone. I don't remember who, but they were talking about their vocal preset and how they gave their vocal preset to somebody. They're essentially taking their penis off of their body and giving the penis to another person for them to use and pleasure somebody else. I didn't make that analogy up. I'm not taking credit for it, but it's the perfect thought process on why I'm not sharing my mixing. You get what I'm trying to say though. I don't know who said it, but somebody said it that wasn't me, and it was their idea. Anyways, we're getting into my favorite part of the beat. This sound right here is a little, what is this? Is this? Okay. I don't think I added too much to this then. Oh no, I added a lot. So what this essentially is impurity in the guitar and pluck it. What I guess that's what that word is shortened to. We got the dist wah. I don't know what that, I'm assuming that means distorted wah wah because it's a wah wah sound. My musical knowledge is in the gutter. I am a musical toddler. I'm calling it the distorted wah wah. The distorted wah wah sounds really good because I EQ'd it. I really just took out the lows. I'm actually gonna play it while I go over the. And so we got a delay bank on that. Fruity phaser. I put a chorus on that hoe. Put some reverb on there, and then I turned it down a little bit and just a little bit. And then I got a sound godizer on it to kind of make it stick out a little bit more in the mix. Here it is without any effects. It sounds pretty saucy, right? Yeah. Anyways, so everything we got so far, melody wise, here we go. So now that I think about it, I remember getting a comment from somebody who wanted me to go into my mixing my mixing settings, not because they wanted to copy it or anything, but because with plugg&b, you have a lot of synths and you have a lot of leads and you have a lot of instruments. You got bells, you got strings, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. You have a lot of melodies that you're working with. Usually, especially me, how I make my plugg&b, a lot of people make their plugg&b. You might start off with the chord progression, and then you're just gonna be adding on to that. You're adding a bunch of music on the music, so it can get kind of hectic sounding, especially when you want to get really adventurous with what you're making. So they wanted me to go into my mixing and kind of explain how I keep shit from sounding super muddied and hyper. And to be completely honest with you, sometimes I like that hyper sound. Sometimes it's not the best for people to rap on, which I can kind of understand, but if you're just listening to it, you know, in a playlist, and a lot of plugg&b has like, you know, a lot of their sounds going kind of crazy and it just sounds good to listen to. You just wouldn't rap on it, but we'll get to that when we get into that. Right now, I'm just gonna play all these sounds at once. This distorted wah wah, while it's not a lead, I decided to use the bonus stage method, which I use on my leads most of the time. I used it on a lead, even though the distorted wah wah itself is not a lead. I took the melody from the, I need to think of a less goofy name than distorted wah wah. Maybe I can just call it distorted wah because there's no two wahs. There's no wah wah in the purity. The distorted wah melody was copied into a lead melody, the YVA lead to be specific. Oops. I didn't mean to. Okay. So the YVA lead, I'm really gonna want to get into. So I'm gonna first off turn off all my settings I have on the mixer before I even go into it, and I'm just gonna play it on its own. So that sounds pretty cool, but you know, with the YVA lead, I did make some changes, and this is without even the mixing. The YVA lead doesn't sound like this by default. I played around with these settings here. If you go to, you know, you pick out the lead in the lead synth section, and you just go to edit. So that startup, that like the start of a baby crying, like it's pitched. That really does sound like a baby crying that's been pitched down. Hold on, let me. Bro, that sounds like a robot baby. Okay, pitching it back down. Okay, back on. We're back on track. So that does sound cool and everything, but that's not the sound I'm really going for. Plus, I want to change it up because the YVA lead is actually a pretty common. I'm not saying it again. I'm not saying it again. Look, bro, niggas be using this lead. So if you're gonna use a lead that everybody uses, you want to change it up. So what I did was I moved the R over here to the far left, and I took this S, moved it up, and I moved the D closer to the R. And so we're gonna close this shit. So it sounds like that, okay? But that's not enough. That's not enough for me. I need to run this lead into the fucking ground. We're gonna go into these settings. I'm not gonna just go super in depth with what I did, but just know that I put a love filter on it, a chorus, sound godizer to help it stick out, fruity phaser, EQ'd it, reverb, panamatic, and a delay. So I'm gonna let you hear it one more time without the effects. And so we're gonna turn all that shit on, and this is what I got. So that shit sounds completely different and it's crazy. So wait for it, wait for it, hold up, wait for it. So that's what we got so far. That's what we got so far. We're making instruments, we're making commonly used instruments sound a little bit different, which is what you want to do, you know? It's what you really want to do. Bonus stage advice, brother. That's what you it's what you do, it's what you want to do. So I've mentioned these bells before, I'm pretty sure, but these are my favorite fucking bells in the universe. Cascading bells in the bell section of Expand, and that's the final instrument in the melody section of this beat. Then we go into the drums. So with drums, I always start with a simple hi-hat clap pattern. Wait, oops, let's start from the very beginning. So with the, I'm going to take this opportunity because I always just copped out of explaining drums because I'm just like, you can fucking hear it, but I'm going to stop being lazy. I'm going to help you guys out a little bit. If this does help, I hope it helps or something, or at bare minimum entertains you with my very witty commentary. So you hear this pause, right? That pause before the first clap. So fill in that blank with a perk. All these pauses in the hi-hats are for a reason, because I'm about to bring in the next set of drums. Pause right there, right? So hold up. All right, so we got all the that's the beat. That's literally all of the beat. I really don't have much to say about the 808 portion. Follow the root notes of the chord progression and make a melody. I say that every single time. I don't want to keep saying it, but did I just hit the mic? I hope that didn't make a sound. And with all that being, oh wait a minute, wait, hold up, forgot something real quick. Sorry. Alrighty, all right. Had to get the little buddy for the outro. So with all that being said, all the things I was advertising in the beginning of the video, please feel free to support me in any way you would like. All my links in the description, literally a website called All My Links with all my links, but also all my links will be below the All My Links link. I hope that didn't sound too confusing. Also, don't forget my song that was at the outro of my last tutorial is out now on streaming. You can go listen to it right now. It's called Rubix by Bonus Stage, exclamation point. Don't forget the exclamation point. And yeah, I'll let you guys hear some of the beat from today's tutorial. So I hope you guys were able to learn something, and I hope you decide to subscribe and stick around for more. All that YouTuber jargon, like, subscribe, comment, your mother. Bye.
Oh, just made a beat, bitch.
Anywho, no, I'm not gonna say anywho in a fucking video. That's fucking stupid. That's dumb.